everybody. I'm so glad you could join us today. Today we have a project in mind. It's called boxes. And the interesting thing about boxes is they are as diverse as you want them to be. So what I'd like to do is start out by showing you this size box. I will open this box and show you what's inside of it. Inside of it, you will see a notepad. So if you have a notepad and you want to make a box to fit that notepad, this is the size box you would make for that. When you talk about boxes, they can be used from anything from a Post-it note to a little piece of candy. So you see a variety of boxes here. Today, we're going to focus in on one of these boxes and we're going to make it together. I'm going to try to give you every step so that you can feel comfortable when it's your turn to make a box. In order to make a box, you definitely need a scoreboard. The scoreboard is what helps you take the paper and make the correct markings so that your box folds into the size that you want it to be. The other thing that you're going to absolutely need is your cutter. If you don't have the exact paper cut, then that's going to be your first step. Today, we're going to start out with 12 by 12. Can you make a box with 8.5 by 11? Absolutely. Why are we picking 12 by 12 then? Because today's box is going to be a little bigger than most of the boxes you might be making. The key to making a box is always to add an inch to each side. So if we want to make this box right here, we're going to have to add an inch here, an inch here. For the length, we add an inch here and an inch here. So with all that being said, our measurements are 10.5 by 8. So the first thing we're going to do is put our paper in the cutter and we're going to literally cut 10.5 inches by 8 inches. And you're going to do that on both sheets of paper. So here is your bottom part. You're going to go 10.5. And you want to get your paper in here snug and make sure you're doing it correctly. By 8. Again, make sure your paper is all the way to the top because you want it all to be cut the same length. So when you're done with your cutter, you can put that out of your way because you don't need it anymore, at least for right now. Now you're going to take the paper that you just cut and you're going to score it. When I tell you that 1 inch is what we're choosing to make the size of our box, you're going to take, this is your bottom because it's your solid color. Even though it has a pattern, it's solid. And you're going to go 1, turn it, 1, turn it, 1, make sure you get it in the groove, turn it, and then 1 more. So you now have scored 1 inch on all 4 sides. You are completely done with that. One thing that you have to keep in mind on a box, I showed you how to score the bottom of the box. Very simple, 1 inch all the way around. When you're doing the lid of the box, you're going to pull your paper away. A lot of people will put like their bone folder right here, and so it's the tip of the bone folder away, and you're going to do the 1 inch. The reason you're doing this is because the top of the box, again, not up flush, but just a hair. And you put your bone folder in there and judge, or you can just, in your mind, go, you know what, it cannot be flush to the side. It has to be pulled away just a tad so that the lid is going to fit over the bottom of the box. If you do not pull that away, you're going to have 2 bottoms, and we all know that that's going to create a box that doesn't go together, which is not the object of our project. So again, we're going to fold on those burnish and fold on those lines to make sure that our lid is ready to go. And it's obvious, pretty easy to understand which is the lid and which is the bottom, because usually you have a pattern paper for the lid and a solid paper for the box. But you know what? It is your box. Use your creative spirit. This, because it has a pattern, is a little harder to see, so I might look at it this time and fold it from the front so that I make sure, because it has like a brick effect on it, I make sure that I'm folding it exactly where it needs to be folded. And just like we did with the top, we're going to do with the bottom. We're going to burnish. And we're going to be gentle to make sure that we break the fibers and make sure that we have a very distinct crease. So once we've burnished all sides of the box, lid being a tad bit bigger than the bottom, it's now time to use our tools and put the box together. So when you're actually making a box, you're going to use your snips, the sharpest scissors that you have, and you're going to find your fold line and you're going to snip right up into the score line. Don't go past the score line, go right up to the score line. So again, you're going to start at the bottom, take your snips right up to the score line. You're going to fold this piece in and you're going to let these stay down. You're going to miter these. So you're going to take your scissors from the bottom to the top corner, from the bottom to the top corner, and now you have a mitered piece, and that's going to be your flap that folds in. Take your scissors from the bottom to the corner, pull that piece off, bottom to the corner. Now, going to turn your box. You're going to do the same thing down here. This is, of course, your bottom. You're going to take your scissors up to the score line, take your scissors up to the score line. Now with the pattern, it's a little harder to find the score line, but you just have to look really close. You'll find it. So now you can get rid of all of your scraps and your paper is folded, and you can see that now we're going to adhere this. There's two ways to do it. Today I'm going to use liquid glue. You can also use tape, but today I'm choosing to use liquid glue. You're going to put a dot of liquid glue. You're going to bring these two together. You're going to hold them. There are clips that you can use today. I'm just going to use my finger. And you're just going to take a couple seconds to make sure it adheres, because it takes a minute for liquid glue to adhere. You're going to do the same thing on the rest of the sides. And you have two more on this side and then two more on your other box. And the good news is we're almost finished. You're going to see your product as it can stand alone. Now the thing that we're doing today is we're actually putting a belly band on our box. You do not have to do a belly band. You can give the recipient the box without whatever you'd like to put in it without a belly band, but we're going to go one step further today and show you how you can make this box do whatever you want it to do. So as we're done with this one, we now are going to do the exact same thing with the lid. A tiny bit of glue, make sure the corners meet, hold it for a few seconds, and you're going to do that to all the sides of your box. Now, the good thing about liquid glue is that it adheres very quickly and it is absolutely strong. The key to gluing, whether we're doing this project or any other, is not to over glue. So often when people use liquid glue, they put way too much on. It starts to seep out. It gets on you. It gets on your project. And it's not the positive that we're looking for. So be really mindful that when you're using glue, you're just barely touching it. And you just want a little circle to go in the middle to make sure that it's adhering nice and strong. So at this point, we really have completed the box. So it's the magic time to make sure that the lid, in fact, does go over the bottom. And it does. So we want to make sure that we're in there. And now we have our box. As I said, you can put your goods in here and you can call it a day. Or you can go one step further, which is what I'm hoping we'll do today. I'm going to show you a pre-made band. This is the box that it was made for, and it slips right over the top. And then you can put your decorative on top of that. Today, we're making a very simple decorative. So I'm going to show you how to make the band, and I'm going to show you how to put the decorative on. The decorative that we're making today is simply 2 punched flowers. They are punched out, And what you're going to do is you're going to use your liquid glue and you're going to layer them so that you have a double flower. You're going to put your liquid glue in the center. You're going to put your flower on top, making sure there's a window in between the two flowers. Now, in this case, you can see the liquid glue is coming out. What I have, though, ready to go is a little decorative that we're going to put right in the center of that. So the liquid glue is doing nothing but helping that decorative stay on top. So now we're going to take this decorative, and that's what the good thing about liquid glue is you can move it around until you have your flower right where you want it to be. And then you're going to take your liquid glue and just put dots on the back of your flower. Remember what I said with glue, you don't want to over glue. On the other hand, you want glue as many places as you can to adhere it and make sure it sticks. You don't want the recipient to have things falling off of their box. So we're going to put that simply on another punched piece of a circle, and we're going to put that off to the side, and we're going to show you how to make the band. So when you make a band, you take two pieces. In this case, I can tell you that the measurements are 2 inches. So both of these are 2 inches. I'm going to take my handy score tape, and I'm going to literally use a couple pieces because I want it to stick. I don't want this band coming apart. So I'm going to put one piece of score tape here, cut that off, another piece of score tape right next to it to make sure that it has strong adhesion. And then we're going to pull this tape off. Again, we're taking 2 bands and putting them together to make sure that we have ample spot for our bands to go together. So we're actually just putting them, it doesn't matter, as long as we cover the tape, it doesn't matter how long it is, we just don't want it to be short. So we take our box that we made, we center it so that at the bottom of the band, and we just kind of fit it. We go, that looks like a fit. Let's pull this one over. Now the key to making a band is this. You don't want it to be so tight that, yes, you make a band, but now you can't get it over the top of the box as you saw when I tried to get the other one in. So what you want to do is basically look and give yourself just a little bit of space here. So you put your band back on and you say, now, if I had to slip this band on, what would be the best measurement? So you're going to fold and make yourself a little case. So we're going to fold here and straighten up your band and use your bone folder. And we're going to fold here and make sure that your fold is straight and use your bone folder. Now, you don't need all of this, right? So you can go ahead and use your scissors and trim some of it away. But we're going to put it back on to make sure that we didn't trim too much away and that our actual band is going to fit. So we're going to take a little bit off of here, a little bit off of there, put it around our box again. Now, to make this fit, again, you just want to make sure that it's not so tight that you can't get it on and off. Now you're going to take your tape again, and you're going to tape here. Use your scissors, snip it, tape here, one more time, and there's your band. You're going to take your pieces off your tape. Now this is your last measurement. You're going to put it around your box. Make sure you're happy with how much room you're giving yourself to get it on and off. Line it up. Fold it around the edges. And now you're going to take your decorative. Again, you're going to use your tape. You could use a different kind of way to adhere it, but I'm just, for today, just going to tape it on the front. And there you go. Your box is ready. So you have your decorative, you have your box, you slip your band on and off, and all your goodies, and it gives you a chance, if there is a lot that you put in here, it gives you a chance for all of those goodies to have some room to move. So there you go. This is the box that we made today. Just so you know, this size, and this size, all the same technique. You just have to know what size your item is, and then you're going to add an inch for each side, and that will be the measurements. But the actual technique is the same. So go make boxes.